Hey everyone, so as always I'm going to be talking about the latest Doctor Who episode, this one being the 4th episode of the 6th series, The Doctor's Wife. Now there was a lot of hype around this one as to, who the Doctor's wife is, and I know a lot of us, well at least the people I've talked to, kind of thought the Doctor's wife, whoever she was played by the person who plays Idris, who's of course Suranne Jones, which is brilliant. Of course we didn't know Idris's name then and we knew nothing about her, but I think a lot of us sort of said that's the Doctor's wife. So what actually was revealed in this episode I think might have been quite a surprise to a lot of people, not just myself. I have to say just now that this will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, I'd advise you not to watch this video just now. So the first thing I want to talk about, again, is kind of in chronological order, but kind of a little bit mishmashed, is the fact that the Ood is back, because there's only one of them. When I saw the clip with the Ood, I was like, not again. I got quite annoyed the first time they brought the Ood back after having only seen them in series 2. So when they were bringing them back for another one, I was like, the Ood is just nothing special. It's so overdone. But because it was only the one Ood and they weren't really the centre focus, I was actually quite fine with that. And I liked the fact that they brought back a creature that we already knew, we didn't have to learn loads and loads about. And I just think it worked. So my opinion's completely changed from being, ugh, the Ood, to, actually it kind of worked. So that's quite nice. Then when the TARDIS went into Idris, I was like, by the way, they should have used the name Astrid for Idris instead of using it on Kylie's character. It would have worked so much better. But when the TARDIS went into her, I was like, uh-oh, this is really kind of creepy. And it kind of reminded me of the regeneration scene at the end of the second episode. So I wonder if the little girl wasn't regenerating, maybe it had something more to do with the TARDIS. But that's what that kind of made me think of. As I just said, Suranne Jones plays Idris, and she did the accent of the TARDIS so perfectly. I mean, none of us have ever really contemplated what the TARDIS would sound like if it spoke, or at least I know very few have. So for it to actually have a voice is kind of like, this is weird. Now, I don't know if that's ever been done before in the classic series, but the way the TARDIS was talking, I don't think it has. And that's not how I would have had the TARDIS sound. I would have had it, quite frankly, I would have had it sound like Billie Piper. And I know that's weird, but that's a slightly more metallic version of Billie's voice. That's the way I can hear it talk. Billie's more posh accent, anyway. So it wasn't quite the voice I expected, but it did work, and I liked that. When the Doctor locked Amy and Rory in the TARDIS, it was so obvious that there was going to be something going wrong with that, because it's inevitable. And then the house obviously came and took over for that. And first of all, I think the house is a really good concept. It is a creature we can't see. The fact that the house was actually the planet is a really interesting concept. And also the fact that it was called just the house, and in the house lived Auntie and Uncle and Nephew. I thought that was a really intelligent way, because then we didn't have to really try and focus on all these different creatures and their names and their habitats and try and learn all about them, when we really needed to concentrate on the fact that the TARDIS was now in a human body. There were a few things which confused me about how Auntie and Uncle ended up there and why they were dying and how the house wanted to save them, or why was he saving them, or why did he make patchwork people. There was a few things which I didn't quite get. So if anybody can understand that and can sort of translate it to me in a way that I'd understand, please do. When Matt said it's the cries of help from the long dead, it actually made me quite relieved, to be honest, because when they brought the Time Lords back the last time, it was quite annoying because we were told that David was the last of the Time Lords. So to bring them back again kind of ruined it, even though there was a good explanation. I was thinking if they're going to bring any more Time Lords back, they're just going to totally snuff up the whole show, because it's not going to be the last of the Time Lords. They just can't. So although my heart went out to the Doctor, I was kind of pleased that I wasn't actually literally Time Lords calling him. So that was, it was a relief, even though I kind of wish it was a more unupsetting way. We also got to see the long TARDIS corridors, which was really great because I hadn't seen them before, and obviously the fact that the TARDIS is massive, and we never really get to see any other areas of the TARDIS apart from the console room at the beginning. So it was nice to see other parts and see what it looked like. Yeah, I just really liked that. I thought it was really nice and a really nice touch. The scene where the door shut, the first time the door shut between Amy and Rory, I don't know why I'm doing that. I thought, hang on, are they going to recreate the whole Rose and Doctor thing on the other side of the wall from Doomsday? I thought that's the last thing I need. Luckily they didn't. It was kind of sinister when Amy kept finding Rory 2 seconds later, but like hours later, and then when she found him really, really old and then dead, I was like, ah! But when he came around the corner, I was like, phew, thank God for that. But it was kind of sinister, but really, really quite exciting at the same time. Then the Doctor went and built his own TARDIS. I thought that was a really genius thing to do. Obviously, the Doctor has the capabilities of building a TARDIS. The fact that it wasn't actually a full TARDIS, you know, it was just a sort of a little bit of a TARDIS with a small little console. I thought that was really smart and really clever, and it really puts the Doctor's brains to good use, because, you know, the Doctor will often get himself in a bit of bother, you know, self-inflicted trouble, because he'll start doing something and it won't work out. Even though he is exceedingly intelligent, we never really get to see that as much now with Matt's character, because Matt's Doctor's being made out to be a bit of an idiot, a bit of a soft touch. So it's really nice to see that intellect there again, which we really mainly saw in Eccleston's Doctor, part of David's Doctor, and it kind of floated away with Matt's. So I really like the fact that that's being brought back. The writing on the wall, the kill Amy, the die Amy bit, did anybody else just totally freak out at that point? I was like, did Rory write that because he was annoyed at Amy? I don't really think that'd be Rory doing that. Was it a reference back to see the first and second episode of the series? It's a really quite a confusing thing, but in a sense it's really good, because it kind of gives us an indication, or at least a sort of insight into what might be coming next. Also, there was no spooky lady with the eye patch in this episode as well, which was nice. The bit that really broke my heart and kind of annoyed me at the same time was the bit when the TARDIS in Idris's body, well, in Idris, was, you know, saying goodbye, or saying hello as it was, and the Doctor really welled up and he got really emotional and really upset. And obviously I did shed a tear, of course I did. It's in a way nice to see Matt doing a really emotional Doctor, because we haven't seen that. You know, David's Doctor was 3 series, he had every emotion. Matt's Doctor's really only had hyperactive and a couple of others, you know. But it was really short-lived. It was like, oh, I'm sad, and now I'm happy. You know, it was kind of like, I wish we saw it a bit longer, even if it did break my heart. You know, the scene, and I refer to this scene a lot, but it's the scene that makes the most sense. The scene in Bad Wolf Bay, where the Doctor and Rose are having a little heart-to-heart, and Rose is in tears, and the Doctor's going to say he loves her, and he gets so emotional and so upset. And then at the end of the day, Rose isn't his one true love. Technically the TARDIS is, or possibly River, but I'm not even going to contemplate talking about River's theories just now, because that's just too much to handle. So the TARDIS is really the only person the Doctor's ever perhaps truly loved, and I think we could have saw a little bit more emotion in him. You know, he's just had an actual conversation with the TARDIS instead of it being a one-way conversation, and there was a lot that could have been done with that. And I think maybe just a little bit more emotion would have been nice. Not as in the intensity of the emotion, but I mean as in the length of the actual emotion, how long it actually went on for. I think it could have been a bit greater. And of course the quote at the end, now I've written it down because I will not get this quote exact otherwise. The only water in the forest is the river. Now I will admit that it took me a couple of seconds to actually twig, oh hang on, river song. You know, I was literally thinking, you know, a river, a stream, like a river. And then I thought, oh, no, river song, right, the only water in the forest is the river. Forest of the Dead? No, I'm really trying to get my head around this. Obviously, if it's not a reference to anything previous, then we're never going to know until it happens. But if it is a reference to something that's already happened, I'm trying to think, and I just cannot work it out. It hasn't really increased any of my theories. It hasn't really demoted any of my theories, you know. So my theories on River still stand, whatever they may be. There's like 10 of them or something. Yeah, this episode was good, but at the same time, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first 3. After the first 2 episodes, I was left thinking, oh, this series is going to be brilliant. After the 3rd episode, I was like, I really did thoroughly enjoy that episode. I missed River, but I enjoyed it. This one, it was more of a case of, I liked it, I'd watch it again. It is good, no major faults apart from the emotion part, but it just didn't feel like a really intense Doctor Who episode. It felt like something was missing, and I still can't put my finger on it, unless it's just River that was missing. Also, Elizabeth Berrington played Auntie, who plays Ruby somebody in Waterloo Road, so that was really nice as well. Yeah, but it is a really great episode. As I said, it is lacking something. Like I said, the only thing missing is really that bit of emotion. But that is it for this video. Please feel free to leave comments, let me know your thoughts. And that is it for just now, so I will see you all next time. Bye!